In this video, we're going to talk about 6 questions to ask yourself before quitting your job. Who hasn't wanted to do this at one time or another? It's a bold move, but probably too bold of a move. In the decision-making process, it's really important that you try and remove the emotion and make it into a logical process. First thing you can do is get your thoughts down on paper. Doing that makes things much more clear. In almost 250 years since Benjamin Franklin developed the pros and cons format of decision-making, not much has changed as far as how we make our decisions. This is a great way to look at where you're at currently and make some decisions on, does it make sense for you to go? Does it make sense for you to stay? So, pros might be, in this case, I like my coworkers. Office is close to my house. I know what I'm doing. But the cons might be that the boss is a micromanager and the boss is also the owner's son. You don't see a career path. You haven't had a raise. One of your coworkers quit and now you're doing their job too. You only get 1 week of vacation. There are lots of cons and there can be lots of pros, and putting them down on paper really makes things a lot more clear. Now, the 6 questions. So first of all, ask yourself, can you learn more? Or are you stagnant in your job? You've been doing the same thing forever and it's just rote at this point. In that case, it might feel comfortable to you, and in that case, it might feel constricting to you. Second question, can you earn more? It's proven that staying at the same company for over 2 years can make you earn less over your career. Here's a quick little spreadsheet on the difference of staying at one company and going to 3 companies in the course of 10 years. So considerable difference, and that doesn't even include promotions and things like that. So 24% difference. Now, does that mean that you should leave your job and your company every 2 years? No, it doesn't. But I think it's just one more thing to consider when you're thinking about staying or going. In the can I earn more question, I think first of all you need to define your own worth. Your definition of your worth is made up of a number of different things. It could be your academic background, your professional experience, and most certainly it is your accomplishments in the roles that you've had. There's never been an easier time to do salary research for what the market price of your position is. Some of the tools that you can use are LinkedIn has a salary component, Glassdoor does. Salary.com is a little complicated, but I think between LinkedIn and Glassdoor, it's a good way to check what market price is for your job in your geographic area. But you can't underestimate your value. Well, you can underestimate your value, but if you do, others will too. So you need to develop and demonstrate a positive mindset and be able to define your worth, tell the person who can make a difference to you with the possibility of earning more after that. Going back to the questions, number 3 is there a personal benefit to staying longer? Life changes, finishing school, moving, adding members to your family, or changes in relationships. It might make sense to stay longer. Are you up for a promotion? Is there a bonus that's coming in a month or 2? There are lots of different things to consider. They could be paying for your education, and you may want to finish that part of your degree in order to get that compensation. But if you hate every job you've ever had, you need to take time to figure out if you were part of the problem, and it's important not to make the same mistake again. Timing. Timing is critical, certainly now, but even in difficult economic times, there are still reasons to make a move, and it's not impossible to make a move in great times or in challenging times. But some of the timing factors are if you haven't been there very long. If you've been there less than a year or 2, depending on your work history, you may want to stay a little longer. Can you afford to quit right now? Are you leaving your department in the lurch? Is it their busiest time of the year? You don't want to burn bridges, so timing is very important, not just from your perspective, but from the perspective of your current employer. And you have to look at, is there ever a good time? And you need to make your decisions around that too. Number 5, what companies and jobs do you want to target? Do your research. This piece of the process probably takes a little bit longer, but it can be very valuable. You can conduct some simple research on target jobs and target companies. Looking at job descriptions on Indeed, LinkedIn, Built in Colorado, you can figure out what jobs you could reasonably go for and see if there are gaps between what you know and what you need to know to get one of those jobs. It's a great time to really look things over. And then after you do that stage, you can research the companies. You can look on their website. Obviously, you can look on Glassdoor. You can talk to people. Every community is really a small community, and you can get information just by asking questions of people that you know. And when you interview, if you get an interview with a company, looking objectively at your surroundings and what the company and team environment looks like, paying attention to what other companies look like can help you prevent making a bad move. And then figuring out what's your job search strategy. What's your timeline? How quickly do you want to do it? All of the things that you answered in some of the other questions. And really mapping a strategy, getting your resume in order, getting your LinkedIn profile up to date, and then going to market when you look the very best. If you want to discuss these kinds of things further, we're here for you. We have resources on our portion of the website, business.ucdenver.edu/BCC, and we're also available to do phone calls, Zoom calls, to talk to you about your career path. Thanks for attending this session.